Okay, so we've done the basic design for the the discussion.aspx page, which has got our banner at the top. It's got a first kind of table, which is just a header really of author, title, and abstract. Then we've got a data bound control under that, followed by underneath that we've got our sort of like place where the user can post their own response. However, the crucial thing is now setting up the data binding here, which is where we say which kind of data is going to get associated with this control. If we look into Access, what we can see in the posting table, we have the here are the basic fields of that table. There is the ID, the title, which is going to be the title of the posting, sort of like what it's about, the body, the about page, which is now a link, but it's a number, so therefore it's a foreign key relationship to the primary key of the papers table. Okay, now that's the crucial thing, because that's how we make sure that when we're on a discussion page about a particular paper, that we're only looking at comments related to that paper. Okay. Then finally there is username and the date and the time. That's not quite so important. The crucial thing is the about paper. And so now what happens when a user navigates to discussion.aspx is they come to it from mobilestandards.aspx, where they've clicked on a link which has got a parameter, something ID equals followed by a number, which does indeed represent the primary key of the paper that is being looked at, that is being discussed. So let us now go into discussion.aspx. Let's go into the code itself. Okay, and oh, sorry, I went on the wrong one there. It's discussion.aspx rather than mobile standards.aspx. So click on discussion.aspx. Okay, so now the first thing what we need to do is get hold of the ID of the paper being discussed. So let's say dim paper ID equals, okay, and this is going to be sort of like request.params open bracket quote ID. I'll give us the ID. Now the next couple of lines are going to be the kind of creating of the connection object, which you've seen many times. Okay, OLEDBcon equals new OLEDB connection. Okay, OLEDBcon OLED open. Now then the next line is going to be the SQL string. Okay, and so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just paste in what the SQL string should be. Okay, and then I'll explain it. Okay, so here's the SQL string. Dim all posting as string equals select star, so to get all the fields from posting, where about paper equals the @ID kind of temporary placeholder for a value that we use with the add with parameters and add with value method. Okay, so that's what we're going to be the kind of basic. The form, the basic abstract form of the SQL query that we're going to be making. Select star from the posting table, which you can see here. So getting all of these values from the posting table. Select star from posting, where about paper, meaning the foreign key of the paper, is the same as the ID string that we're going to be passing in. Okay. So after having done that, we need to create the OLEDB command object. So again, I'm going to paste in rather than type in myself, because I'm getting some problems with the machine crashing every time I type in some of these things. So here we go. Dim posting db command as new OLED command all posting str OLEDBcon. So that creates us the command object. Okay, and it says no OLEDB command. Basically, we need to add the imports system.data.oledb, and that will then allow us to have access to these things like the OLEDB command object. Okay, so therefore we've got this posting dbcmd. Okay, Control Z. Now then, let's kind of like add with value. Okay, posting. Let me hide this a bit. So posting db command parameters add with value. So now we're going to set the ID as being, well, I put in there request params ID. I'm going to just replace that with paper ID, which is that's what we got earlier. So posting db command parameters add with value. Here's the ID, the @ID kind of placeholder in the database command is being placed by paper ID, which relates to this. Okay, so that's right. So we've got that now. And then what we need now is to create a database reader object Okay, and that we've seen this done before many times as well. Dim db read equals posting db cmd dot execute reader. Okay, so we've done that. Dim db read equals posting db command execute reader. And now, see, this is the thing, db read. This is like all the records which have been brought back from our query of the database. This is the thing that we can bind to our repeater. Okay, so what I can do now, the repeater is called repeater1, so I say repeater one dot data source equals db read. Okay, and then finally we have to do this one command which then kind of fixes it. Okay, we say repeater one dot data bind. Okay, so we've done that now. So it's the data source db read and the data bind. That's basically what we have to do to associate the data with the repeater object. However, there is another thing we have to do in the repeater object, is because we have to show which part of the, remember the repeater object has got these various fields, data bound, data bound, data bound, and therefore we need to associate those data bound controls with the correct fields. Now we've already done most of that, which I think is eval title, eval posting date, eval username, eval body. Let's just check that those evals relate to username, posting date, body, title. So that all seems to be fairly fine. Okay, so we've put in our data bound control. We've associated certain fields in each record, which will always get displayed. Okay, and then we've done the binding in the code behind to kind of associate that that object with the data in the database. Okay, so now let's just see, before we do anything else, let's just add some spurious data in here. So let's kind of like title, okay, and I'll relate that to about paper, the computer for the 21st century, username Johnny, posting date, just typing out sort of like a date like that. Okay, and then I'm going to sort of like type in another one, not okay, okay, and this will be about the ubiquitous computing. I'll make that Johnny again, and I'll make this one the 31st of October. Okay, Halloween. Okay, so anyway, so that's done. So that's just added two fields, one for the first paper, one for the second paper. Okay, now let's see. Oh, well, actually, just while we're here, let's just add another paper to the first one. So let's try okay again. Okay, and I'm going to type that into the body as well, and that's going to make that about the first paper again. Okay. Okay, so now let's kind of make that the 30th of October. Okay, well actually this is wrong because these will be the dates will be in the wrong order. So let's make it such that this is the 30th and this is the 31st of October. Okay, so now we've got those in kind of more or less the correct order. So let's kind of now save that data. And now let's close down access, well, let's hide access and let's bring up mobile standards. And let's go into mobile standards.aspx, okay, which is here, and press play. So this should bring up the browser, and in it, when it comes up, what we'll do is we'll try to click on the fields to go to the discussion page, and we'll see if that data we've already put in the discussion page does indeed appear. So I'm logging in as Johnny here. As usual, the very first time the application gets run, it's usually a little slow. So what it should be doing, however, is going to the mobile standard ASPX. Okay, so now here's the computer of the 21st century. As far as I remember, there were two contributions to the discussion on this. Let's click on that and see what happens. And well, that's indeed what we've got. Look, there's the first one, okay, and there's okay again. Okay, so that's That's great. Now, as you see, it's not very good in terms of look at the moment. What we probably want is maybe a little different colour for the heading of each of these discussion points, such that it's clear that this is a new discussion point. Okay, so that's not necessarily the best. Let's go back again. Let's now look at the second paper. And then that one, as we see, we've only got one discussion done, not okay, Johnny and it's not okay. Okay, so that's part we've done there. So we've established now that we can actually read postings, particularly relating to papers. The final thing now we need to do is, well, of course, just to make it look nicer, each in discussion contribution, but also to then make it possible for the author to write again. For the user to reply to the discussion.